What's up, guys and gals? It's time for the latest piece of One Piece, chapter 1109, entitled Termination. I was going to review this chapter the day it came out, and of course I got behind on other things and stuff like that, but in all honesty, yeah, this chapter can be summed up very quickly. It doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad chapter or anything like that, but the big Vegapunk's giant, humongous message to the world. Or is he going to talk about the kingdom, the void century, the world government's corruption? What is he going to say? Nope, we're cucked. That's what this chapter is. This whole chapter is, we have a message to the world in 10 minutes. That's what this chapter is. So I'm sort of glad that, not the Stella buddy, but the Shaka guy, yeah, he deserved to die now, because he's the whole reason that we didn't get the information in this chapter, though it makes sense for the whole broadcast over the Den Mushi, some people setting up video ones, and we see the reactions of everyone across the globe. I mean, once again, is this a necessary chapter? No. See, I have a bit of an issue with the chapter in the regards that, okay, we're just doing this to prolong the message more than anything else. You could have done all the reaction shots, you know, you jump to Rebecca, and then there's Vivi and Morgan's, and you jump to Dragon and the Revolution. You're jumping all over the place. East Blue, Iceberg, you jump into all of them. You could have been doing this, same reaction shots of the same people, while the message was being said to us in dialogue bubbles. So this is just prolonging, in my opinion. So as a result, the chapter, there's not really a whole lot much to talk about. You know, we as the reader are like, we were waiting for what is Vegapunk going to say, and no, we don't find out this chapter. We're going to have to wait. And now there's a break next week, so we're going to wait even longer. So a little frustrating. A little frustrating in that regard, because really nothing happened this chapter. Luffy did one move up against Saturn and Kizaru. Kizaru is now down again. Is he down and out? We don't know. And Saturn seemingly can telepathically talk to the other members of the Gorosei, and is also going to, now they're going to be summoned. So because he's physically there, you know, the Full Metal Alchemist ring comes up, and the black lightning and the black meteor looking stuff happens, and you know, apparently he's going to summon the other 4 Gorosei. There's 4 spots, so I assume that he's going to summon the other ones, and they're going to try to stop this message from happening. I don't think the message is obviously going to be stopped, and what a lot of people, not just myself, believed is that Vegapunk did have basically a kill switch. It was when my, you know, blood pressure goes, or my heart fails, or whatever like that, the message will start. The message will come on. So the Gorosei is speculating as well that is the case. But that's all that happens this chapter. There's not really I mean, you could go into detail and be like, oh, these people, and there's the mayor from East Blue Village and stuff like that, where Luffy's from and stuff. I'm not paying for a damn, you know, video transponder, blah blah blah. We see, you know, Dragon and the Revolutionaries and stuff. You can go into each one and talk about them, I suppose. The main thing is that they're going to wait, and it makes sense, but I mean, we could have sped this up a little bit. It makes sense as to why it's like, well, wait a minute now, this doesn't exactly work like the news in our world and stuff. The technology's a little slower, so it's like, why don't you give everyone, at first it was like, we'll give them an hour. It's like, well, the Gorosei or the world government might figure out a way to stop us within the hour. How about you wait, you've already started, count down 10 minutes, you know, and then give us the message, right? So, that is currently happening. The Gorosei have no idea what Vegapunk is going to reveal or say, but clearly they are afraid of it, because they're summoning this is what we all assume, that they're summoning the other 4 from Mary Joa, which is quite interesting. So we do learn a few things about that in that regard. Obviously, Luffy's powers do work. His Toon Force ability does work against Saturn. So, you know, because he slams them together with Gum Gum Symbol, and then speeds them across, you know, like, fine, if you're going to just keep healing, I'm just going to send you over here, I'm going to get rid of you. Saturn immediately flies himself back, though, like a boomerang effect, and it's like, and even Luffy's like, what? How are you able to do that? So, and once again, we don't see him trying to paralyze Nika. We don't see him trying to do that paralyzation thing. Whether he attempted that before in the last chapter where he was like, and he hit him, and we saw the blood come out before he, smashed into Saturn. Who knows? Who knows? Is Kizaru down and out? Sanji's still there, noticing, like, something else is coming. Similar, it's the same thing that happened when Saturn turned into spider form, sort of idea. But yeah, it was nice to see some of the characters, Iceberg, Vivi, that kind of idea. At the end of the day, that was the chapter. There's not really a whole lot to discuss, so I didn't feel like this was a chapter where it was like, whoa, like, a couple of cool things happened, like, okay, the Gorosei can, warp. They have warping summoning powers that just break everything. It doesn't seem to be related to Devil Fruit abilities whatsoever, and they're able to telepathically talk to each other, and I don't know if they're able to warp anywhere in the world where one of them is not, but because they say, Saturn, it's time. Meaning that Saturn clearly did something, a chant, a summoning, or something like that, to allow the other four to warp. Is it a special room? Is it a Devil Fruit power? Is it a power beyond Devil Fruits? We have no idea. So, we could speculate on that, but realistically, we're probably going to get the answers to these questions in the next few chapters. Or if not, they won't be answered for so long that, realistically, we're just chalking it up right now to Gorosei special powers until we get an explanation otherwise, right? At least that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the chapter and stuff like that. I don't think there was anything else really to cover. No break next week, unfortunately. And SBS came out with the fact of there was a couple of interesting things. Kuma's bear ears are not actually ears; it's just his hair. So that's interesting to note about the Buccaneers, is that they're not actually like bear humans or something like that. So that was interesting to find out. Mihawk, there was some Mihawk information about the fact that he was the Marine Hunter and stuff like that. And he apparently suffered a betrayal. They don't say by whom, but it sounds, the way it was worded sounds to me like that's why he became a Marine Hunter, is because he was betrayed. Now I'm going to assume he was betrayed by someone in the Marines. Maybe he tried to join the Marines or something like that, and he was betrayed or something. But he suffered a huge betrayal, so he's not, he's not really the trusting type. And as a result, he became the Marine Hunter. That's the way I interpreted it, though I saw a lot of people saying, oh, he was the Marine Hunter who suffered a betrayal. Once again, maybe the timeline doesn't add up, but we learned a little bit about that. So, and he, like Crocodile, is a little bit tired of life. Sounds very suicidal, realistically. So the whole tired of life comment can be taken into a very dark place. But I didn't read it that way, and some people haven't obviously taken it quite that literally. It's the whole, he wants a peaceful, that's why he joined the Warlords. He just wants to be able to relax. He doesn't want anybody to bother him. He's seen a lot of shit, he's done a lot of shit, and now he's sort of looking for the Thanos retirement planet. He's looking for the Thanos retirement home, because he's just like, he's lost the lust and love for life in a sense. It doesn't mean that he, wants to find someone to off him or whatever, and he doesn't want to off himself, but he's just like, if I don't get out of bed this morning, it's almost depression. He and Crocodile are almost, I want to almost say that they're a little depressed. For different reasons, but in that same, they're not, they don't have this major goal. They don't have a goal in life anymore. They've seen what they wanted to see. They've done what they can accomplish to their own, mental state, and they're like, this is all I could do. And at this point, it's like, yeah, if I don't get out of bed this morning, is the world any different? Is my life any different? Who do I need to get out of bed for? It's one of those things, it's almost like a midlife crisis. And they are in their 40s, so this makes sense. They're sort of suffering, both of them in their different ways, through a bit of a midlife crisis, the way I'm reading it. In the sense that because they don't have children or responsibility or people who depend on them in this regard, that's sort of the purpose of them being sort of sick of life, you know what I mean? And I think that's part of the thing. I think a lot of people go through, I've sort of semi, not to get too personal, but I'm sort of suffering through that myself right now. 2024 is just not my year at all. And in that regard, I do sort of understand, or maybe that's why what I'm pulling from this, because I'm relating it to, you know, my own life and stuff like that, is the idea is that, as I said, if you don't get up, or if you sleep in, what's the big deal? Whose life is going to be negatively impacted? How is your life going to be negatively impacted if you don't get up in the AM? If you wait till noon? If you don't even get out of bed at all? How's that going to negatively affect anybody for you and stuff like that? And this negative connotation is sort of like whether I go out and do stuff or not is irrelevant to not just the world, like you're changing the world or something like that, but the not strangers and stuff, but just like in your own life, in your own personal life and stuff like that, right? So I think that's sort of the line they're going on. Not the, as I said, not the whole you know, I'm really sick of this life, and I think I want to find a way to end it all sort of ideal, right? I don't think that's the way it's right. I think it's more of a depression thing. I think it's more of a, I have no goal, I have no direction, and thus I'm feeling lost right now. And what is the purpose for me to go out into the world today? What's the purpose for me to get out of bed today? What's the purpose for me, you know? So that's the way I'm taking it. But once again, it gives us more questions than answers, honestly. We're learning a little bit about Mihawk, but it's just adding to the theories. Like, how did Mihawk become the greatest swordsman? What happened with the Battle with Shanks? What is this betrayal? Why does he hunt the Marines and stuff like that? And why is he sick of life? Is he missing the goal in his life? You know, because he sort of sees the potential in Zoro and stuff like that. So there's stuff like that too, right? What else was in the SBS? We got Ivankov with the Zoro Dragon fruit and stuff like that. That was kind of comical and stuff. Can't really think of anything else really to talk about, but I think I've passed the 10-minute runtime for this review, so by talking about the SBS and the chapter, so there you go. But anyways, that's it from me, guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Like, comment, and subscribe as always, and we'll see you guys back here next time for chapter 1110. 1110. Seems like a fun number. But yeah, we'll see you guys back here next time for that. Obviously, there's a break next week, so we won't see you until the following week. But as I said, hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you back here next time. Have a good one. Sayonara.